So I have a slight dilemma. I got a lot to do today. I really do. I have to swap mowers out in the garage. That one's in here. Got the chain done. I still didn't fix that part yet, but I have an idea for that. But inside that trailer is the EXMARK Lazer Z. And I need that to be in here to put that chute blocker on it. But anyway, this needs to come out of here. That mower, the EXMARK needs to come out of the other trailer. This needs to go in the trailer. And then I have a ton of other run around to do. I have to get this trimmer rack for the giveaway to the dealer. I have to go and pick up some other things. I have to pick my daughter up from school, get her to work, get back to the house for when Billy gets off the bus. So Billy and I can go to the gym. And I'm sure there's other stuff I'm forgetting. I don't know. Everything is like a chore. Everything. Now we need to take this up front. Now, if you guys remember from the video the other day where I was putting the POWERCHUTE chute blocker on the Skag walk behind, I said I was going to use the foot pedal. The initial idea that Alex and I from POWERCHUTE had for this machine was to put the foot pedal on this one. And obviously I don't want it on this side because I want my right foot, nothing in the way of it, so I can control the deck up and down. So putting the foot pedal right over here seemed ideal. Now I think the foot pedal would be great on this machine. It keeps my hands on the controls. When you're on the stander, they're so easy to just slide your hand right across to the middle and control both controls one-handed. Standers are super easy to drive that way. So the Toro Grandstand, when I put the POWERCHUTE on that, has a switch down on the side of the console, and that's probably the same way I'll do it with the V-Ride 2. The walk behind, I can easily take my hand off of the control on the right hand side and flick that switch and the machine will still track straight. Not a big deal there either. Sit down zero turns, you can also slide your hand in the middle and control both with your hand, making it easy to have a toggle switch on these sit downs. But I really do like the idea of just having the foot pedal on here. I think it would make things so much simpler to just do it that way. But we have a chute blocker in the way that has to come off first. Now, if you guys remember when I got this machine, it wasn't actually on here because the full bagging system was on the machine, which I had to take off. But this chute blocker here, directocdc.com. This is not an EXMARK chute blocker, which I initially thought that it was, but it is not. It's an aftermarket one. The guy gave me this with the machine when I got this machine. So we put it on there just to see how we like it. There's a video of Billy actually installing this one, and it is a really nice, simplistic setup. It's just spring-loaded there, the handle, and you pull the handle out and you move it, and it'll go to the halfway point. And the little nub there goes in the hole and locks it in. Or you can pull it up and it goes in right there. That's the top setting. That's the highest point it has, which is really nice, but I like them when they're straight up. So you have it in the top setting there, middle setting there, which is what I use almost all the time when I use chute blockers. I use it part way open there. That way it's not shut completely off. It's not building up grass and stuff inside to where you open it. It's going to just throw clumps out, but it also keeps the grass from going into flower beds, keeps anything from going towards houses, cars, things like that. This is my favorite position for any chute blocker, or like I said, all the way down. So this is going to come off here, and the power chute is going to go on. Very simple with this one. Pull the pin out, pull the rod out like that. This comes right off because it uses the existing mounts for the regular grass flap that goes in there, or the grass deflector. And then this comes up and just pulls, well, if I can just pull this right out of there like that. And then this rod comes right out like that. And then all you have to do is this handle piece here has 3 bolts that hold it in place. And that's it. That's all you do. Okay, so here's the deal with this. The motor was on tipped backwards at an angle like that, but back pretty far. And there's no way I could have mounted this on there the way it was. So there's only 2 bolts. There's one right down there, and there's one right there. And they go through, and there's different positions. I think there's 3 different positions in total where you can change that to change the pitch or the angle of this motor to make it work for you. So all I had to do is pop those 2 bolts out, flip that motor upwards this way, and now it'll sit right on here, and I can clamp it to mark my spot, drill my holes, bolt it in, run my wiring, and I'll be done. But it's that simple. I've said a couple times in these videos how universal these things are. This is just one more example of what I mean. Okay, like I said in the other ones, I'm not going to go crazy with this full install video and make it as long as the other ones, because you've seen full install videos on this already. So I'm just going to show little clips in here each step as I go along, and then I'll show a final when it's done. But I got it on, got it lined up exactly where I want it to be, and clamped in. So now all I have to do is drill my holes and mount it. Now that's all mounted. I have that hooked up there, the whole bracket, everything's mounted. So now all I have to do is I have to run my power in 2 different ways. I got to run the foot pedal, which is going to go up over there, and I got to run the other lead up to here, tied into my battery, positive and negative. Going to be a little finagling trying to get the wire wrapped up through there, but I think once I get myself to I'm right up under there, I can flip the seat up and see everything nice and clear and be able to route it and tuck it right out of the way. Like I told you guys before, the important part is, and what I highly suggest to you guys, is when you're installing one of these, run your wire, but before you zip tie the wire down in place, drop the deck all the way down. Because when it's all the way down, that's when the most tension will be pulled on that wire. That's when, you know, it's going to need to be at its longest length, if you understand what I mean. So I drop the deck all the way down, run it, zip tie it all in, and then you raise the deck back up. You have that little bit of slack in it, and you can make sure that it's not going to interfere with any pulleys, any pinch points, anything like that. Okay, so I figured I'd stop right here real quick and show you guys. I hooked it up temporarily to see which way the pedal went. Okay, my initial thought was to put this straight up and down, but the way it works, where the wires come out is up, and where the wires don't come out is down. So if I put it straight down like I want, so the wires would come out and I could go through there and run it all the way down, it would have been backwards. And if I had them up, I would have had to have the wires over the front, which I didn't want. So I figured this would actually work nice, because when you press that way, it goes up, which means, I don't know if I can kind of show you this. So when I press the pedal that way, it comes this way. When I press the pedal this way, it goes down that way. You see what I mean? So it'll actually work out pretty nice. I route them all the way through there. I got my plug that comes up, plugs in right there. Well, because of where I wanted this, I ran short of my wire. The lead was not long enough to get to my battery, but this is a big mower. So when I was thinking about doing it on the V-Ride 2, I mapped it out, and the cable was probably 2 foot longer than what I needed. When I was going to do it on the Skag walk behind, at least 2.5 feet longer than I needed. But because of putting it on this big machine and I want the pedal way over in that corner and the battery's way back there in that corner, I ran too short on wiring. So, especially with the way I wanted to route it to keep it out of the way. There's a lot going on this mower between brakes, deck up and down, your forward controls, just other wiring harnesses. So I don't have this fitted in here yet where I want it, but it stopped right about here. My battery's here. So I just put extensions on it. I cut the ends off, spliced into it, soldered it together, and then used heat shrink tape or heat shrink tubing over top to make it waterproof. And now I have plenty of room to get to my battery. I cut the ends off so that I could use the same ends that came on the harness. And once I get my length, I'll cut these short and I will put the ends on, hook up, and I'll be good to go. But I just wanted to show you, sometimes that might happen. But on normal circumstances, what this is intended for probably would have been fine the way it comes, but because of how I wanted it and where I wanted it, maybe me being a little picky, it left me short. No big deal. Okay, so it's all done. Let's just do a quick overview and then I'll show you it working. I have the foot pedal up there. Like I said, you press it to the left, the chute comes up. You press it to the right hand side, the chute goes down. You can stop it anywhere in between, just like the rest of them. I left a little slack on this, but I got a little zip tie in there holding it. That'll give me slack up and down. That's really not going to catch anything, but I am going to reroute that a little differently so there's not as much slack. That's just for right now, so I can close this video out and show you guys what I did. So that's the plug. The other harness follows that same routing all the way down. If I can lift this thing up here, I routed it along that edge underneath all the way down and zip tied it. It's out of the way, doesn't go down anywhere near the deck, doesn't affect the foot plate, out of the way. I routed underneath through there. Oh, I have a zip tie, still got to cut down there. Right through there, made the fusible link down there, right there. Easy enough to get to if I need to check it. It's out of the way of the fans, everything. The extensions I showed you I put on, heat shrunk the ends of it as well, and hooked it into the battery. Now, I highly suggest you guys doing anything on mowers, put yourself together a little kit. This was like a little case that I bought at Harbor Freight for like $6, and I've just randomly bought packs of fittings and just filled it in with little bits of everything. There might be $15 in this entire kit. Heat shrink tubing is one of my favorite things. And there's pretty much nothing I can't do with this cheap little kit. I mean, there's a lot better ones out there, a lot more extreme styles out there, whatever. Everybody has their own thing, but never hurts to have something small to put together. But, and this little torch makes things really nice. But, so there it is. Everything's together. It's done. Make sure you guys hit thumbs up, thumbs down, share this so people can get this information, please. People keep asking me all the time, you know, about installs on different mowers, and I told them, like, listen, I have a bunch out there, and I am slowly making more and getting these out there, but share it so people can get this information so they have it. You know, it's just a way of helping other people out. Don't be one of them guys that don't want to help anyone out. So share the video so people can get this information and find different ways of doing this. So now let's show you how this thing works. Okay, so this thing is hooked up to the battery, so it's direct power. I don't even have to have the key on, and it should, if I did everything right, it should work just by hitting the pedal. So here we go. Down, up, down, up. Nice and simple. All the way down. I can just a little bit open, a little bit more open, all the way open, down. That's pretty awesome. I like it. So like I said, there's the foot pedal. I hope you guys caught that all on camera, but pedal to the left, brings it up, press the pedal to the right, drops it down. Super simple, easy enough, right? So thank you guys for hanging out for another one. I know that, I don't know, maybe these seem crazy to you, but everybody keeps asking me for them. So, you know, I know if it were me and there was a certain channel I followed, I wouldn't want to keep seeing the same things over and over again. So I'm trying to break it up a little bit like I did with the 2 videos I put up yesterday. If you didn't check out that giveaway, don't miss out. I strongly encourage you to go check that out. But I'm just trying to show as much as I can because there's so many people out there with all different mowers. You know, people have their brands, what they stick with, and everybody runs something different. And then there's me, who have like all different kinds of mowers. So I showed the one with the Walker B, like I said, the Toro Grandstand. I did the one with the Skag walk behind with no battery and how to hook that power chute up with power, not having a battery on the unit. I've now showed it on the EXMARK Lazer ZX series, and I got one to go guys, and that's on the Skag V-Ride 252. So that'll be my last one, and I'll be done. I'll quit boring you guys with these videos, but to me, I think they're really interesting. I love doing this kind of stuff. It's a lot of fun to me, and there's a lot of guys out there that want to check them out. One of you guys, just real quick, one of you guys sent me a link yesterday to some other, it's called like the Green Guard or something, and I checked it out, and it looked pretty neat the way that it worked. But then I looked into it more and I saw that the whole thing was held on with magnets. Now, trust me, I'm a big fan of magnets. I have 60-pound pole magnets, 100-pound pole magnets that I mount my GoPros on all the time. But I don't know, on a mower, man, if that thing comes off there, whew, you want to talk about liability. That thing drops off there and hits them blades and like a rocket. You're shooting chunks of steel. That's shrapnel, man. This is like Vietnam. You're shooting chunks of steel flying at people's houses, people's cars, buildings, people, animals, and it has a breakaway chain. I saw that. I have thicker chains on my keychains. You know, I'm not just knocking it because, you know, obviously I work with POWERCHUTE. I'm a fan of POWERCHUTE. I'm always looking for everyone's products. You know what I mean? I always want to see what's the latest and greatest. And I'm looking at that. Like I said, I like the idea of the way it goes up and down. It's pretty much the same exact thing as a POWERCHUTE. But I was looking at the other features of it, and I'm just like, man, that scares the crap out of me. That's my biggest down with it. My biggest flaw with it is, you know, what if that thing comes off? Just what if? You know, there's probably a good chance. They probably did a lot of research, and there's probably a good chance that it won't. But what if? Eesh, I'm not willing to take that risk for my business, my house, my family. No freaking way. No way. So I'll stick with this. But anyway, so definitely one more to come, and I'll try to break it out as best I can. I'll catch you guys in the next one.